Imagine walking down a crowded street, feeling like every eye is on you. You adjust your clothes, check your phone, try to act natural. But in reality, no one is watching. They are lost in their own thoughts, just like you. Yet, the uncomfortable feeling lingers. Why? Why do we let the opinions of others dictate our actions? How many times have you hesitated, changed your decisions, or silenced yourself just to avoid judgment? Buddhism teaches us that true happiness begins when we stop seeking approval and start living for ourselves. In this video, we will explore how to free yourself from the burden of others' opinions and discover a life of inner peace. Take a deep breath. Let's begin. Imagine you are walking down a busy street, and suddenly you feel like everyone is watching you. You adjust your clothes, check your phone, and try to act normal, but in reality, no one is actually paying attention to you. They are all lost in their own thoughts, just like you, yet that uncomfortable feeling lingers. Why have you ever stopped yourself from doing something just because you feared what others might think? Have you held back your words, changed your decisions, or pretended to be someone you're not just to avoid judgment? Why do we let the thoughts of others control how we live our lives? Think about a time when you hesitated before posting something online, not because you didn't believe in it, but because you were afraid of how people would react, or a moment when you dressed a certain way, spoke a certain way, or even smiled in a way that wasn't truly you just to fit in. Isn't it exhausting to live like that? Here's a simple example. Imagine you were eating alone at a restaurant. Some people feel perfectly fine enjoying their meal, but others feel nervous, as if everyone is secretly judging them for being alone. But ask yourself, if you saw someone else dining alone, would you really care? Most likely no. So why do we assume others think differently? Welcome to Calm Heal. If you've ever struggled with the weight of others' opinions, this video is for you. Today, we'll explore deep Buddhist insights that can free you from this invisible burden. But before we dive in, I have a quick request. There are so many views on this channel, but only 0.2% subscribe, so please like, comment, share, and subscribe to our channel, and drop your thoughts in the comments. Your support helps us bring more wisdom to you. The truth is, worrying about others is an endless cycle. No matter what you do, someone will always have an opinion, and if you keep trying to please everyone, you'll lose yourself in the process. But where does this need for approval come from? Buddhism teaches that an ATTM to external validation is a major cause of suffering. In Buddhist philosophy, there is a concept called not self, the idea that the identity we cling to is not truly who we are. The thoughts, labels, and opinions others place on us are nothing but illusions, yet we let them shape our actions and emotions, forgetting that our true essence is beyond these judgments. The Buddha himself faced criticism. People misunderstood and mocked him, and even rejected his teachings, but he remained unshaken. Why? Because he knew that the words of others had no power unless he allowed them to affect him. Think about it. If someone calls you foolish, does that actually make you foolish? If someone praises you, does that truly make you wise? No, these are just words floating in the air, disappearing as quickly as they are spoken. They only have meaning if you choose to accept them. One of the core teachings of Buddhism is impermanence, the idea that everything changes, including opinions. What people think of you today might change tomorrow, so why waste your time chasing their approval? Instead, focus on something that truly matters, your inner peace. Learning to detach from opinions doesn't mean ignoring others completely. It means understanding that their words and thoughts do not define your worth. This realization brings an incredible sense of freedom. Imagine waking up tomorrow without the fear of judgment. Living without constantly wondering what others think. Imagine being able to express yourself fully without hesitation. Wouldn't that be liberating? In this video, we will uncover how Buddhist wisdom can help you break free from the cycle of overthinking about others. We will explore practical ways to let go, regain control of your mind, and finally live with peace. Stay with us till the end, because what you're about to learn might change the way you see The world forever, why we seek approval, and how it controls us. Listen carefully. There is something strange about the human mind. It constantly seeks approval, it craves acceptance, recognition, and praise. But why do people care so much about what others think? Why does a single word of criticism feel like a knife, while 100 words of praise often feel empty? Imagine a child running toward their parent holding up a drawing with bright colors and messy lines. The child looks up, eyes full of hope, waiting for a reaction. If the parent smiles and says, "Wow, that's amazing," the child beams with joy. But if the parent shrugs and says it's okay, the child's happiness fades instantly. This is where it all begins. As children, we learn that approval equals love and rejection equals pain. We start chasing praise, believing that if people approve of us, we are worthy, and if they don't, we feel lost, like something is wrong with us now. Think about your own life. Have you ever done something just to be accepted? Have you ever hidden your true thoughts because you fear judgment? How many times have you changed your decisions not because you wanted to, but because you were afraid of what others might say? This is the invisible prison of approval. It controls how people think, act, and even feel. The fear of disapproval makes people hesitate. The desire for acceptance makes them wear masks. They try to be perfect, to be liked by everyone, but no one can be liked by everyone. The Buddha understood this. He saw how people suffered because they depended on the opinions of others. He taught that true peace comes from within, not from the outside world. If you rely on others to feel happy, you will always be at their mercy. They praise you today, you feel good. They criticize you tomorrow, you feel bad. Your emotions rise and fall like waves in the ocean, never stable, never free. But what happens if you stop depending on approval? What if you realize that your worth does not change based on what others think? Wouldn't that be a relief? Let me tell you a story. Once a young man went to see the Buddha. He was troubled. He said, "Master, I try so hard to make people like me, but no matter what I do, some people still dislike me. What should I do?" The Buddha smiled and said, "No matter how hard you try, there will always be people who do not like you. Even if you were the most perfect being, there would still be those who criticize you. Look at me. Some love me, some doubt me, some even hate me. Should I change myself for them?" The young man thought for a moment and shook his head. The Buddha continued then, "Why do you try to control what is uncontrollable? A wise person does not chase the approval of others. A wise person walks their own path, free from the weight of opinions." These words are powerful. They remind us of something important. We cannot control what others think, but we can control how much we let it affect us. Take a moment and reflect how many of your choices are truly your own, how many are shaped by the fear of disapproval. What would your life look like if you stopped caring about the opinions that do not serve you? The mind is tricky. It whispers, "What if they don't like me? What if they judge me? What if I fail?" And they laugh. But ask yourself, who are they? Are they people who truly matter in your life? Will their opinions shape your destiny? Or are they just passing clouds in the sky? Here one moment, the next. Buddhism teaches that the self we try so hard to protect is an illusion. We build it with layers of opinions, compliments, and criticisms. But in reality, it is empty. The more you seek approval, the more power you give to this illusion. But once you stop chasing validation, once you let go, you realize you are always free. Imagine this. You are standing in a field and the wind is blowing gently. The single leaf falls and lands on your shoulder. Do you panic? Do you feel pain? No, you simply brush it off. This is how you should treat opinions. Let them come, let them go, but never carry them as a burden. But letting go is not easy. The habit of seeking approval is deeply rooted. So how do you break free? You start with awareness. Every time you hesitate because of fear, ask yourself, am I living for myself or for someone else? Every time you feel hurt by an opinion, remind yourself, this opinion is not my truth. Then slowly, like a flower opening to the sun, you will feel lighter, freer, happier. Buddha once said, just as a solid rock is not shaken by the wind, so the wise remain unmoved by praise or blame. This is the goal. Not to fight opinions, not to prove yourself, but to be like that rock, steady and unshaken. Approval Is like a shadow. If you chase it, it runs away. If you stand still, it follows. So stop chasing, stop worrying, just live, just be, and watch how your life transforms. Are you ready to take this step? Are you ready to free yourself from the prison of approval the journey has just begun? Booth teachings on letting go of opinions. Sit with me for a moment. Breathe in now, breathe out. Do you feel that breath, that moment, it is yours? Alone, no one can control it, no one can take it from you. And yet, how often do we give our peace away to the opinions of others? You worry about what they think. You change your words, your actions, even your dreams, just to fit into a world that never truly sees you. But tell me, when has trying to please everyone ever brought you happiness? A long time ago, man came to the Buddha angry and full of hate. He insulted the Buddha, called him names, tried to provoke him, but the Buddha just sat there calm, unshaken. Then man grew frustrated and asked, "Why do you not respond? Do my words mean nothing to you?" The Buddha smiled and said, "If someone offers you a gift and you do not accept it, to whom does the gift belong?" The man replied, "To the one who offered it." The Buddha nodded. "Then why should I accept your anger?" Think about that. The Buddha understood something most of us forget. Opinions are like gifts. You don't have to accept them. If someone calls you foolish, you don't have to take it. If someone calls you wise, you don't have to take that either. Both are just words floating in the air, disappearing as quickly as they came. They only have power if you let them in. Now I ask you, how many times have you accepted the gift of judgment? How many times have you carried someone else's words, letting them weigh you down? If a stranger insulted you on the street, would you take it home with you? Then why do you carry the opinions of others in your heart? There is a Zen story of an old monk and his student. One day they were walking through the forest when they saw a woman struggling to cross a muddy river. The old monk picked her up and carried her across. Hours later, as they walked, the student finally spoke, "Master, why did you carry that woman? We monks are not supposed to touch women." The old monk laughed. "I put her down hours ago. Why are you still carrying her?" This is what we do with opinions. Someone says something, and we carry it for hours, days, even years. But what if we just put it down? Buddhism teaches that everything is impermanent. The river flows, the wind shifts, and opinions change. What people say about you today, they may forget tomorrow. So why hold on to it? Why waste your energy? Let's try something right now. Think of a time when someone said something hurtful about you. Feel the weight of those words. Now imagine placing them in your hands like a rock. Look at it, observe it, then let it go. Drop it just like that. How does it feel? Lighter, freer. That is the power of non-attachment. You see, suffering doesn't come from what people say, it comes from clinging to what they say. The Buddha taught that attachment is the root of suffering. If you cling to praise, you will suffer when it disappears. If you cling to criticism, you will suffer every time someone disapproves of you. But if you let go, that is freedom. Imagine this: two people are watching the same sunset. One says it's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. The other says it's just another day ending. Is the sunset any different? No, it remains the same, only their perception has changed. And so it is with you. You are not what others say you are. Their work are just reflections of their own minds, not a truth about you. A kind person will see kindness in you. A bitter person will see flaws in you. But none of that defines you. There was once a man who asked the Buddha, "Master, how can I stop caring about what others think?" The Buddha replied, "Imagine you are walking through a market and people are shouting about all kinds of things. Some are selling fruit, some are arguing, some are laughing. Do you stop and listen to every voice? Do you let every sound pull you in different directions?" The man shook his head. "No, of course not." The Buddha smiled. "Then why let the voices of the world control you? This is your life. You must choose what to listen to. You must choose what to carry. If you let every passing thought and judgment dictate your path, you will never be free. So what can you do? How do you stop this habit of worrying about opinions? Here is a simple practice. Observe when someone says something about you. Don't react immediately. Pause. Notice how it makes you feel. Question. Ask yourself, is this true, or is this just their perspective? Release. If it is not useful, let it go. Just like the old monk, put it down and move forward. This is not easy. It takes practice, but every time you let go, you take back your peace. Every time you Choose not to react, you reclaim your power. Imagine a life where you are no longer controlled by what others think. Imagine waking up every day free from the weight of their opinions. Imagine living, speaking, and being yourself. Without fear, wouldn't that be beautiful? The Buddha once said, just as a solid rock is not shaken by the wind, so the wise are not moved by praise or blame be. The rock be unshaken, let the wind of opinions blow past you without disturbing your peace. Now, as we continue this journey, remember this: your worth is not measured by others, your truth is not written by them. You are free, you always have been, you just have to see it. The burden of others' thoughts a mental trap. Sit down for a moment, breathe in and out. Now ask yourself how much of your day is spent thinking about what others might say about you. How often do their words, their glances, their opinions weigh on your mind? It happens so easily. Someone says something about you and it lingers. Someone gives you a look and you wonder what they meant. A few words, a few glances, and suddenly your whole mood changes. This is the trap, the invisible prison built by the thoughts of others. And the strangest part, you are the one keeping yourself locked inside. Imagine you were carrying a heavy bag on your shoulders. Inside this bag are the opinions of your family, your friends, your coworkers, even strangers. Every time someone says something about you, good or bad, you put another stone inside. With every glance, every judgment, the bag gets heavier. But here's the question: who told you to carry it? Did someone force you? Where did you pick it up yourself? Most people go through life carrying this burden without even realizing it. They wake up thinking about what others will say. They dress, speak, act, and even dream according to the expectations of people around them. And for what approval? Validation. A few words of praise that will disappear like smoke in the wind. The Buddha once said, what others think of you is none of your business, but people struggle to believe this. They hold on to the belief that they can control how others see them. They think, if I act the right way, if I say the right things, if I please enough people, they will all like me. But is that true? Can you really control someone else's thoughts? Think about the last time you judged someone. Did they know? Did they try to change because of it? Or did your thoughts simply come and go forgotten in a few moments? This is the truth. People think about you far less than you believe most of the time. They are too busy thinking about themselves. Yet here you are adjusting your life, your words, your actions, all for a thought that exists only for a moment in someone else's mind. Isn't that strange? Let's take a simple example. Imagine you are giving a speech in front of a crowd. Your heart races, your palms sweat, and all you can think about is, what if they don't like what I say? But have you ever been in the audience yourself? How much do you remember from the last speech you listened to? Did you sit there analyzing the speaker's every word, or did your mind drift to your own thoughts, your own worries? People are not watching you as closely as you think. They are wrapped up in their own worlds, just as you are in yours. The Buddha taught that clinging to the thoughts of others is like chasing the wind. You run after it, thinking you can grasp it, control it, shape it, but in the end it slips right through your fingers. So why do people keep chasing? Because they believe that being liked, being accepted, being admired will bring them happiness. They think, if people approve of me, I will feel good about myself. But this happiness is fragile. It depends on something that is always changing. The opinions of others. One day they praise you, the next day they criticize you. One moment they lift you up, the next they tear you down. If your peace depends on this, then your peace will never last. A wise person understands this and steps out of the game entirely. Instead of chasing approval, they focus on something deeper, inner peace. They understand that no matter what they do, it'll always be someone who disagrees, someone who disapproves, and that's okay. The sky does not get upset when someone calls it dull. The ocean does not shrink when someone says it is too vast. They simply are what they are. You too can live this way, but first you must put down the bag full of worries, of judgments, of expectations. You have carried it for too long. Now it is time to let it go. How? By realizing one simple truth: no thought, no opinion, no judgment can harm you unless you allow it to. The words of others are like clouds in the sky passing by. They come and they go, but the sky itself, it remains. The next time you feel the Weight of someone's words pressing on your mind. Ask yourself, do I have to pick this up? Do I have to carry this? Or can I simply let it pass? The Buddha once told a story about a man who insulted him. This man came and spoke harshly, trying to provoke anger, but the Buddha simply smiled. He asked, if someone offers you a gift, but you do not accept it, to whom does the gift belong? The man replied, it remains with the one who offered it. The Buddha nodded. Then why should I accept your anger? This is wisdom. When people throw their opinions at you, you do not have to take them. When they try to weigh you down with their expectations, you do not have to carry them. You were free, always have been, always will be. So that next time someone judges you, remember this: their thoughts are their own, their opinions belong to them, not to you. Take a deep breath, let go of the need to be understood, to be liked, to be approved. Feel the weight lift from your shoulders. What remains when you let go of all this? Peace of mind that is calm like still water, a heart that is light like a feather, a life that is yours, truly yours, free from the burden of others' thoughts. This is the path of wisdom. This is the path of freedom. How attachment to perception breeds suffering. Sit with me for a moment. Breathe in and let go. Do you feel that the quiet, the stillness, the space between thoughts? This is where peace lies, but most people never reach this space because their minds are too crowded with worries about what others think, with the fear of judgment, with the need to be seen in a certain way. They are trapped in a prison of perception, and they do not even know it. You have seen this before, haven't you? A person afraid to speak because they fear saying the wrong thing, someone dressing, acting, or even walking a certain way, not because they wanna, but because they think it will make others accept them. A mind constantly calculating, adjusting, shaping itself like a river forced into a narrow path. But tell me, what is this path? Who built these walls? It is not real. It is nothing but a thought, a fleeting idea, yet people hold on to it as if it is everything. They build their lives around it, sacrificing joy, freedom, and even truth just to maintain the illusion. They do not realize that attachment to perception, attachment to how others see them, is the very source of their suffering. Let me tell you a story. There was once a young monk who feared what others thought of him. He wanted to be seen as wise, as respected, as perfect. Every word he spoke was carefully chosen, every action measured, but deep inside he was anxious, always worried if he was doing enough to please others. One day he went to his master and asked, how do I make people see me as wise? The master smiled and replied, why do you wish to be seen as wise? The monk hesitated, then said, because if they see me as wise, they will respect me, and if they respect you, the master asked, then I will feel valued. The monk admitted. The master laughed softly and said, then your peace depends not on your wisdom, but on their opinion. You are not seeking wisdom, you are seeking approval, and this is why you suffer. Do you see it? The young monk believed he was searching for wisdom, but in truth, he was chasing perception. He had tied his happiness to something he could never control, the thoughts of others. Look at your own life. Have you ever changed yourself just to be accepted? Have you ever silenced your voice just to avoid judgment? Why? What are you holding on to? Buddha taught that attachment is the root of suffering. But what is attachment? It is not just clinging to material things. It is clinging to identity, to reputation, to image. It is the fear of losing how others see us. And this fear is what keeps people trapped. But tell me, what happens when you let go? What happens when you stop caring about how the world sees you? The answer is simple. You become free. A bird does not ask if the sky approves of its flight. A river does not stop to wonder if the rocks respect its path. And yet humans hesitate at every step, not because they are lost, but because they are waiting for permission to be themselves. I will ask you now, who are you when no one is watching, when there is no one to judge, no one to praise, no one to compare yourself to? Who remains? That is your true self, and that self does not need validation. It does not need to be liked, admired, or understood. It simply is. But I know what you might say, Master, I cannot just ignore the world. I have responsibilities, related relationships, a life to live. And you are right, the goal is not to reject society or walk away from people. The goal is to walk through this world untouched by its illusions imagined too. Men walking through a storm, one curses the rain, hides under his coat, and runs. For shelter fearing every drop, the other spreads his arms, lets the rain fall, and walks with peace. The storm is the same, but the experience is different. One fights reality, the other accepts it. The opinions of others are like the ray. They will come, they will go, some will be kind, some will be harsh. But if you spend your life running from them, trying to stay dry, you will never be free. Instead, let the rain fall, let the words come, let them pass, smile at them, but do not hold onto them. A person who is not attached to perception is unstoppable. They do not waste time trying to prove themselves. They do not bend for approval, nor do they break under criticism. They simply walk their path with a heart as light as the wind. And what about you? What will you do? Will you continue carrying that weight of perception, fearing every glance, every whisper, every opinion? Or will you set it down, step forward, and finally breathe? The choice is yours, but I will tell you this: freedom is not found in being seen as great, nor in being seen at all. Freedom is found in knowing that it does not matter who sees you, who approves of you, or who understands you. What matters is that you see yourself, that you approve of your own heart, and that you understand your own soul. Let that be enough. Let go and walk freedom through mindfulness, breaking the cycle. Listen carefully. The mind is like a restless river, always flowing, always moving. It picks up everything in its path, words, opinions, fears, and doubts. It carries them, turns them over, makes them heavier until they feel impossible to let go. But tell me, what happens when the river stops holding on to the debris? It becomes clear, pure, peaceful. This is what mindfulness does to your mind. It clears away the noise, the unnecessary weight of what others think. You have spent years listening to the voices of the world. You should be like this, you should not do that. They will laugh at you, they will admire you. On and on. These voices have shaped the way you live. But who are these voices? Where do they come from? Are they real, or are they just echoes in your mind? Close your eyes for a moment. Imagine yourself sitting in a silent room, no distractions, no phone, no conversations, no expectations, just silence. But even in this silence, the noise of the mind continues, thoughts racing, memories resurfacing, worries creeping in. Did I say the wrong thing? What do they think about me? Should I have done something differently? The truth is, the world is not speaking to you. Your own mind is, and it will keep talking, keep replying the same worries, the same fears, until you take control. Buddhism teaches that mindfulness is the key to breaking this cycle. Mindfulness is not just meditation, it is awareness, deep, clear awareness of the present moment. It is seeing things as they are, not as your fears shape them to be. It is knowing that what people think of you is not your reality. Tell me, if someone throws a stone into a lake, does the lake chase the stone? No, it ripples for a moment, then returns to stillness. But if the lake is small, if the water is shallow, the stone will disturb it for a long time. The same is true for the mind. A restless, untrained mind holds on to everything, every criticism, every compliment, every passing thought. But a mindful mind, a vast and deep mind, lets things go. Right now, you may feel trapped in the opinions of others, but I ask you, where is this trap? Can you point to it? Is it in your hands, your feet? No, it exists only in your mind, and what exists in the mind can be changed by the mind. Take a moment, breathe, feel the air, you're in your lungs, feel the weight of your body. On TH. Ground, the present moment is here, it is real. The thoughts of others, they are not. If a person calls you foolish, what happens? The sound travels through the air, reaches your ears, and then what? Do those words become part of your skin? Do they change your bones? No, they only exist if you allow them to. If you do not pick them up, they disappear. Now think about how much energy you have spent worrying about people who have already forgotten about you. How many nights have you stayed awake replaying a conversation in your mind while the other person has moved on? How many times have you hesitated, changed, or hidden yourself because of a judgment that only existed in your imagination? Buddha once said to yourself, must strive. The Buddhas only point the way, no one can free you from the weight of others' opinions, but you must decide, will you keep carrying them, or will you set them down? Mindfulness teaches you how to set them down. It teaches you to observe your thoughts instead of being Controlled by them, try this the next time you find yourself overthinking about what someone said. Pause instead of reacting. Just notice, I here is a thought about their opinion. Do not fight it. Do not believe it. Just watch it like a cloud passing in the sky. The problem is not that others judge you. The problem is that you believe their judgment matters. But tell me, who gave them this power? You did. And if you gave it, you can take it back. If a person praises you, does it make you a better person? If they insult you, does it make you worse? No, you are the same whether praised or criticized, so why be moved by either? Think of a great tree standing in the middle of a storm. The wind howls, the rain pours, the thunder roars, but the tree does not run, it does not chase after the wind, does not beg the storm to be gentle, it simply stands. You must learn to be like this tree. Let the voices of the world come and go, but do not chase them. Mindfulness is not something you practice for an hour and forget. It is something you bring into every moment. When you eat mindfully. Feel the taste, notice the texture, be present when you walk mindfully. Feel the ground beneath your feet, hear the sounds around you. When you hear a judgment, observe it mindfully. Do not resist, do not attach, just let it pass. For the greatest power you have is the power to not react, to not give weight to meaningless words, to not carry burdens that do not belong to you, to not allow someone else's thoughts to shape your reality. Imagine waking up tomorrow and feeling free from the invisible chains of judgment, free from the endless cycle of worrying about others, free to live as you truly are without hesitation. It is possible, but only if you decide to take back your mind, only if you choose to practice mindfulness, only if you let go of what was never yours to hold in the first place. So will you keep running after thoughts that do not serve you, or will you finally be still, be free, and just be the power of equanimity, finding inner balance? Listen carefully, imagine standing in the middle of a storm. The wind howls, the rain pours, and everything around you is in chaos. But you stand still, unshaken, calm. This is the power of equanimity. It is not about ignoring the storm. It is about knowing that the storm will pass, and you do not need to fight it. Everyday life throws situations at you, some pleasant, some painful. One moment people praise you, the next they criticize you. One day fortune smiles at you, the next it turns away. If your happiness depends on these shifting waves, you will always be restless. But what if you could stay centered no matter what happens? Think about a tree. When the wind blows, its branches sway, but its roots remain deep in the earth. No matter how strong the storm, the tree does not resist. It bends, but it does not break. This is equanimity. It is the ability to face life with calmness, neither clinging to pleasure nor fearing pain. It is knowing that everything comes and goes, and nothing can shake your true self. Now ask yourself, how often do you get affected by what people say? Do their words lift you up only to bring you crashing down the next moment? Imagine if their opinions were like the wind and you were like the tree. You hear them, you feel them, but they do not appro you. You remain steady. Wouldn't that be freedom? The Buddha once told a story. A man came to him shouting insults, full of anger. The Buddha listened silently. He did not react. The man became confused and asked, "Why are you not angry?" The Buddha smiled and said, "If someone offers you a gift and you do not accept it, to whom does the gift belong?" The man replied, "To the one who offered it." The Buddha nodded. "Then why should I accept your anger?" This is equanimity. It is not about suppressing emotions or pretending to be indifferent. It is about seeing things clearly without being controlled by them. When someone praises you, do not become proud. When someone insults you, do not become bitter. These are just waves on the surface of the ocean, but you are the ocean itself, deep, vast, untouched. Think about your own life. How many times have you let emotions control you? Someone cuts you off in traffic and suddenly your entire mood is ruined. A stranger's comment online makes you question yourself. A single moment of discomfort makes you lose peace for an entire day. Is this how you want to live? Do you want to be a puppet by every passing emotion? There is a way out. The Buddha taught that the mind is like a lake. When the wind of emotion stirs it, the water becomes muddy, but when you remain still, the mud settles and the water becomes clear. In that clarity, you can see reality as it is, not as your emotions painted. But how do you reach this state? You begin by watching your thoughts instead of reacting to them. When anger arises, do not say, "I am angry." Instead, say, "Anger is here." When sadness comes, still not say, "I am sad." Say, "Sadness is present." Do you see the difference? You are not your emotions. You are simply the one observing them. Close your eyes for a moment. Breathe and feel the air into your body. Breathe out. Feel the tension leaving. This breath is always here now. Matter what happens when you feel overwhelmed, return to it. It is your anchor. No storm can take it away from you. But remember, equanimity does not mean you do not care. It does not mean you do nothing if someone hurts you. You do not simply accept it. You respond wisely, but without losing yourself. If life gives you suffering, you do not just sit in pain. You understand it, and you move forward with peace. Think of a lotus flower. It grows in muddy water, but its petals remain untouched by the dirt. It does not complain about the mud. It simply rises above it. This is how you should live. The world may be full of noise, opinions, chaos, but you remain still inside. Now imagine waking up tomorrow with this awareness. Imagine hearing criticism but feeling no sting. Imagine facing difficulty but feeling no panic. Imagine seeing success but not becoming arrogant. Imagine walking through life steady like a mountain, peaceful like the ocean. This is possible, but only if you choose it. So the next time life shakes you, stop, breathe, observe, do not react, respond with wisdom. Do not be the storm, be the stillness within it. This is true power, practicing detachment, embracing the middle path. Oh, my dear friend, you have traveled far on this journey. You have seen how the thoughts of others can't trap you, how their opinions shape your mind, and how their words can weigh heavy on your heart. But tell me, have these thoughts ever truly belonged to you, or have they always been echoes of the world bouncing around in your mind? Let me tell you something simple yet powerful. What others think is none of your concern. It is their thought, their perception, their world, and you are here, breathing, living, existing in this moment. Why must you carry what was never yours to begin with? Imagine you are holding a burning coal in your hand. You clutch it tightly, afraid to let go. The pain sears through your skin, but still you refuse to release it. Now tell me, who is suffering? Is it the one who gave you the coal? No, it is you. You are the one in pain simply because you chose to hold on. This is how attachment works. People throw words at you, their judgments, their opinions, their expectations, and you pick them up, hold on to them, let them burn you from the inside. But what if instead you simply let them fall? Wouldn't that be easier? Wouldn't that be freeing? The Buddha spoke of the middle path, a way of living that is neither extreme attachment nor complete avoidance. He did not say to isolate yourself from the world, nor did he say to be a slave to it. Instead, he taught us to walk with balance, to engage without being entangled, to care without being controlled. But how do you do this? How do you practice detachment in a world that constantly pulls at you? The answer is simple awareness. When a thought enters your mind, ask yourself, is this truly mine, or is it something I have picked up from others? When someone speaks harshly to you, ask yourself, do their words define me, or are they simply a reflection of their own mind? A wise man once sat by a river watching the water flow. He saw leaves, twigs, even entire branches drifting by. Some were caught in the current, some got stuck on rocks, but none remained forever. He realized then thoughts, emotions, judgments, they are all like the river. They come, they go, but they do not stay. So why do we hold on to them as if they are permanent? Tell me, have you ever seen a cloud hold on to the sky, or the wind refuse to move? No, they simply exist, flowing, passing, never clinging. This is how the mind should be, open, free, unattached. But you might say, Master, what if someone's words hurt me? What if their actions make me feel small? And I will tell you this, the moment you believe their words, you give them power over you. No one can make you feel anything unless you allow it. The Buddha once said, if someone offers you a gift and you do not accept it, to whom does it belong? The answer is clear, it remains with the giver. So when someone gives you their judgment, their criticism, their negativity, you have a choice. You can accept it, carry it, let it poison your mind, or you can simply walk away, leaving it with them. But detachment is not about becoming emotionless. No, my friend, it is about understanding. It is about seeing things as they are without adding unnecessary suffering. If a flower blooms, you admire it. If it wilts, you do not mourn its loss. You simply accept that it was never meant to stay forever. This is the essence of the middle path, to experience life without clinging to it, to love without possession, to care without control. Think of the wind, it moves freely, touching everything, yet holding on to nothing. It does not demand that the trees stay still, nor does it force the leaves to dance. It simply flows. This is how one must live, to interact with the world, but not be ruled by it. Have you ever seen a bird in the sky, soaring effortlessly, unburdened by the earth below? That is what happens when you let go. That is the light of detachment. But the moment you hold on to every thought, every opinion, every expectation, it is like tying a stone to Your feet, no matter how much you wish to fly, you will only sit, but you might ask, Master, what if I love someone deeply? Should I not care about their thoughts? Then I will tell you this: love is not attachment. Love is not about holding someone so tightly that they cannot breathe. It is about giving them the freedom to be who they are, just as you must give yourself that same freedom. The middle path teaches us to love without chains, to care without fear, to walk alongside others without losing ourselves. When you understand this, you will never again be a prisoner to another's thoughts. Let me leave you with one final thought. Imagine you are standing in front of a mirror and someone comes to paint on it. They scribble words, they throw colors, they distort your reflection. If you believe that the mirror is you, you will feel pain, you will feel ill. But if you understand that the mirror is only a surface and that beneath it your true self remains untouched, then nothing they do will ever truly affect you. The world will always have opinions, people will always have something to say, but you are beyond their words, beyond their judgments, beyond their illusions. You are like the sky, vast, open, free. So tell me, will you keep carrying the weight of others, or will you finally let it go, silencing the inner critic? Buddhist perspective, do you hear that voice inside your head, the one that whispers you're not good enough, you should have done better, or what will they think of you? It speaks in moments of doubt, in moments of failure, even in moments of success. It never stops, never rests, and never seems satisfied. This voice is the inner critic. It is the shadow that follows you, the weight that holds you down. But what if I told you this voice is not real? It feels real, doesn't it? It feels like a part of you. But that voice is nothing more than a collection of past experiences, fears, and the judgments of others that you have absorbed over time. It is not your true self. It is not your wisdom. It is simply noise that can be silenced. The Buddha taught that the mind is like a wild monkey jumping from branch to branch, never staying still. It clings to worries, doubts, and regrets constantly, feeding the inner critic. And the more you listen, the stronger it becomes. It tells you that you must be perfect, that you must please everyone, that you must never make mistakes. But this is an illusion. Perfection does not exist. Others' approval does not define you. Mistakes are not your enemy. They are your greatest teacher. Think about this. If a stranger walked up to you and said you're worthless, would you believe them? Would you carry their words in your heart? Most likely you would ignore them because they don't know you. But when your own mind whispers the same words, why do you listen? Why do you believe the voice in your head more than your own experience? That voice was not born with you. It was created by parents who scolded you, by teachers who compared you, by friends who judged you, by a society that set impossible standards. It is a voice built by the outside world, but it lives inside you, and now it controls you. But here's the truth. The inner critic is not real power. It is a habit, a pattern of thinking that has been repeated for so long that it feels natural. But like all habits, it can be broken. Like all patterns, it can be changed, and Buddhism gives us the tools to do it. The first step is awareness. You must see the voice for what it is, a passing thought, not a fact. When the voice says you will fail, simply notice it. Do not fight it, do not argue with it. Just see it like a cloud drifting in the sky. It will pass. The second step is detachment. Do not identify with the voice. Do not say I am not good enough. Instead, say my mind is producing a thought. This creates distance. It reminds you that you are not your thoughts. You are the observer, the witness, the awareness behind the voice. The third step is compassion. Do not fight the inner critic with anger. Do not try to destroy it. Instead, treat it with kindness. It is a scared part of you, a part that only wants to protect you from failure and pain. Say to it, I see you, I hear you, but I do not need you anymore. And then let it go. Buddhism teaches that the mind can be trained just like the body. If you want strong legs, you exercise. If you want a peaceful mind, you practice mindfulness. Every time the inner critic speaks, pause, take a deep breath. Ask yourself, is this thought useful? Does it serve me? If not, let it go. Imagine you are sitting by a river watching leaves float by. Each leaf is a thought. Some are beautiful, some are dark, some are heavy, but you do not hold on to them. You let them pass. This is how you must treat the inner critic. Do not grab onto its words. Do not give them weight. Just watch them float away. Now let me ask you, when was the last time you spoke kindly to yourself? When was the last time you encouraged yourself, forgave yourself, loved yourself? You have been your own worst enemy for so long, but you can also be your own best friend. Think about a child learning to walk. They fall down over and over again. But do we criticize them? No, we smile, we encourage them, we help them up. Why don't we treat ourselves the same way? Why do we punish ourselves for failing instead of seeing it as a step toward growth? The Boaz said, you yourself, as much as anybody in the entire universe, deserve your love and affection. So why do you give your kindness to everyone but yourself? There is no enemy outside you greater than the one within. The opinions of others are nothing compared to the harshness of your own mind, but you have the power to change it. You have the power to silence the inner critic and replace it with something else. Inner peace right now. In this moment, make a decision to no longer be at war with yourself. A decision to let go of the voice that has held you captive. It will not disappear overnight. It will return, but each time it does, you will be ready. Each time you will meet it with awareness, detachment, and compassion, and slowly the voice will grow quieter. The doubt will fade. The weight will lift, and one day you will wake up and realize you are free. How compassion liberates you from judgment. Do you know why you care so much about what others think? It is because deep inside you seek connection. You want to be accepted, to be valued, to be understood. But in this pursuit, you become trapped by fear. The fear of being disliked, the fear of being judged, the fear of being rejected. And so you begin to adjust yourself, shape yourself, and sometimes even lose yourself just to fit into the expectations of others. But what if I told you that the key to breaking free from this fay is not in ignoring others, but in understanding them? Let me tell you a story. There was once a man who was insulted wherever he went. No matter what he did, people always had something negative to say. He tried to be kind, yet some called him weak. He tried to be strong, yet some called him arrogant. He tried to stay silent, yet some called him distant. One day he went to his Zen master and asked, how do I stop people from judging me? How do I make them stop? The master smiled and handed him a spoonful of salt. Put this in a cup of water and drink it, he said. The man did as he was told, but immediately spit it out. It's too salty, he complained. The master nodded and took him to a lake. He handed him another spoonful of salt. Now put this in the lake, he said. The man poured the salt into the lake, and the master asked him to take a sip. The man drank and said, it tastes fresh. The master smiled. The salt is the same, but the cup is small, and the lake is vast. If your heart is small, every word will taste bitter, but if your heart is vast, no judgment can disturb you. This is the power of compassion. When you open your heart to others, their words no longer sting the same way their judgments do. Not feel like wounds anymore. You begin to see them not as enemies, but as people, just like you, who struggle, who fear, who misunderstand. And when you understand, and you stop taking things so personally, think about the people who judge you. What do they gain from it? Perhaps they are insecure themselves. Perhaps they have been judged all their lives and now pass that burden on to others. Perhaps they are hurting, and their harsh words are simply a reflection of their inner suffering. If you look deeply, you will realize that most people who criticize are not doing it because they truly see you. They are doing it because they are trapped in their own fears. Buddha once said, hatred does not cease by hatred, but only by love. This is the eternal rule. When someone insults you, your first instinct is to defend yourself or fight back. But what if instead you responded with understanding? What if you chose to see beyond their words? What if you looked at them not with anger, but with kindness? Imagine how light your heart would feel. Compassion does not mean you let others walk over you. It does not mean you accept disrespect. It means you choose not to carry the weight of their negativity. It means you free yourself from reacting, from overthinking, from holding grudges. Because in the end, judgment only has power if you allow it to settle in your heart. Ask yourself, when someone criticizes you, do their words change who you are? If someone calls you a fool, does that truly make you foolish? If someone praises you, does that truly make you wise? No, these are Just sounds, just vibrations in the air. They come and they go. Why hold on to? Then there is a simple way to practice this. The next time someone says something hurtful, pause before you react. Ask yourself, what is making this person speak this way? What is happening inside? Then, instead of feeling attacked, observe. Instead of absorbing their energy, let it pass through you like the wind, and then let it go. When you do this, something magical happens. The world loses its grip on you. The opinions of others become like raindrops falling on a vast ocean. They ripple for a moment and then disappear. You stop living for their approval and start living in peace. You become like the lake, not the cup now. Close your eyes for a moment. Imagine a life where no judgment could disturb your peace. Imagine walking through the world untouched by the fears and expectations of others. Imagine feeling free, truly free. This freedom is already within you. It has always been there. You just have to embrace it, living unburdened, walking the path of liberation. You have spent most of your life carrying a weight that was never yours to bear, the weight of what others think, the burden of their opinions, their judgments, their expectations. But tell me, has it ever truly helped you? Has worrying about others ever brought you peace, or has it only drained your energy, made you restless, and stolen your happiness? Let me ask you, if you had no idea what others thought of you, would you live differently? Would you make different choices, speak your mind more freely, or walk with more confidence? Then why do you let something as uncertain as another person's thoughts dictate the way you live? Look around you. People come and go. Their words change, their moods shift. Their thoughts are never stable. One day they praise you, the next they criticize. One moment they admire you, the next they forget you. If their thoughts are always changing, then why do you hold on to them as if they are absolute truths? The Buddha once said, just as a solid rock is not shaken by the storm, even so the wise remain unaffected by praise or blame. Do you understand what this means? It means that real strength comes not from controlling what others think, but from remaining steady no matter what they think. But how do you do that? How do you live unburdened? The answer is simple: by recognizing that you were never bound in the first place. You see, all your life you have built a cage in your mind, a cage made of invisible bars, the fear of judgment, the need for approval, the constant worry about what others will say. But if you look closely, you will see that the door to this cage was never locked. You were always free to walk out, but freedom feels strange when you've been caged for so long. You hesitate, you doubt, you wonder if you should step out. But let me tell you something, the only thing keeping you inside is the belief that you belong there. Drop that belief and the cage disappears. Think of a river. It does not stop flowing because someone dislikes the way it moves. It does not change direction because someone thinks it should. It simply flows free, natural, effortless. That is how you should live. Not in reaction to others, but in harmony with your own nature. Do you know why people's opinions affect you so much? It's because you have attached your sense of self to them. If someone calls you foolish, you feel hurt, not because their words have power, but because a part of you fears that they might be right. If someone praises you, you feel happy, not because you are suddenly more valuable, but because their words confirm what you secretly hope to be true. But who were you before anyone told you who you are? Who were you before labels, before expectations, before the world shaped you into something that pleases them? You were simply you, and you still are, but you have forgotten. Detach from their words, and you will find yourself again. This does not mean you must ignore people completely. It does not mean you stop listening, stop caring, or become indifferent. It only means that you no longer allow their words to define your worth. If someone criticizes you, let them. If someone praises you, let them. But do not let either touch the core of who you are. That core is untouched by the world. It is unshaken like the mountain that stands tall despite the winds that try to move it. People will always talk. That is their nature, but you do not have to listen. You do not have to explain yourself. You do not have to justify your existence. You do not have to live for them. Live for yourself. Walk your path. At the end of your life, when all is said and done, do you think you will regret not pleasing others enough? Or will you regret not living your life your way? This moment right now is the moment you Set yourself free, not tomorrow, not someday. Now take a deep breath, feel the weight of expectations lifting from your shoulders. Feel the freedom of knowing that you owe no one an explanation for. Simply being yourself, walk forward without fear, without hesitation, without the burden of thoughts that were never yours to carry, and never look back. Final reflections, your journey to mental freedom. Sit down, breathe, feel this moment. You have walked a long path. You have seen how the mind clings to the thoughts of others, how it bends and twists itself just to fit into spaces where it was never meant to be. But now, the time has come to step out of that prison, to walk freely, to live as you were me. To think back for a moment, how many times have you changed your actions because of fear? How many words have you swallowed because you didn't want to be judged? How many dreams have you abandoned just because someone else thought they were foolish? And yet the world keeps moving. The people who made you doubt yourself, they have already forgotten their words, but you still carry them. Why? The truth is, people's opinions are like passing clouds. They appear, they change, and then they disappear. One moment they praise you, the next they criticize you. If you chase their approval, you will run forever, never stopping to rest. But if you stand still, if you let their words come and go like the wind, you will know peace. Look around you, the trees do not ask permission to grow. The river does not wait for approval to flow. The sun does not dim itself just because someone finds it too bright. Nature exists in its purest form, without shame, without hesitation, and you are part of that same nature. You were never meant to live be under the weight of other people's thoughts. Buddhism teaches us that the source of suffering is attachment. Attachment to things, to people, to emotions, and yes, to opinions. The moment you let go, suffering ends. The moment you realize that no one else's thoughts can change your true nature, you become free. But how do you do that? You stop listening to the noise. You stop searching for validation. You stop waiting for someone else to tell you who you are, because deep down you already know. You have always known, but the world made you doubt yourself. It filled your mind with distractions, with expectations, with fears. Now it is time to clear them away. Close your eyes for a moment. Imagine a life where you no longer care about what others think. Imagine waking up and choosing your path, not because it is expected of you, but because it is what you truly want. Imagine speaking your mind, laughing freely, walking without fear. Can you feel it? That lightness, that peace, that is the life waiting for you when you let go. But be careful, the mind is tricky. Even after learning all this, it will try to pull you back. It will whisper, what if they don't like me? It will ask, what if they judge me? And in those moments you must remind yourself, what if they do so? What will their opinions change? The sky will their thoughts rewrite your destiny? No, only you have that power. The Buddha himself was criticized, he was mocked, doubted, and misunderstood, but he did not react. He did not defend himself. He simply smiled and continued on his path, because he knew the truth. Other people's words cannot touch the one who is at peace with himself. And now the choice is yours. Will you continue carrying the weight of other people's thoughts, or will you finally set it down? Will you allow their words to control your mind, or will you take back that power? There is a Zen story about a man who was insulted by another. Instead of reacting, he simply asked, if someone offers you a gift and you do not accept it, to whom does the gift belong? The other man replied, to the one who offered it. The wise man smiled, then why should I accept your insults? This is the way of freedom. You do not have to accept the negativity others try to give you. You do not have to carry their judgments. Let them keep their opinions. Let them talk. Let them think whatever they want. It is not your burden to bear. And when doubt creeps in, again, remember this: no one is thinking about you as much as you think. Their people are too busy with their own worries, their own fears, their own lives. They may judge you for a moment, but then they move on. Why should you let their passing thoughts shape your entire life? Now take one deep breath. This is your moment, your turning point. You have learned, you have reflected, and now it is time to act. Live your life fully, boldly, without hesitation. Do not let anyone else's voice be louder than your own. Walk forward with confidence. Know that you are enough exactly as you are. And before you leave, I have one final request. There are so many views on this channel, but only 0.2% subscribe. So please like, comment, share, and subscribe to our channel. Your support helps bring more wisdom to those who need it. And please drop your thoughts in the comments. Let's continue this journey together. Your path is now clear. Step forward and never look back. Sit down, breathe, let everything settle. You have come far. You have listened, reflected, and opened your mind to a new way of seeing, but this journey is not over. No, this is only the beginning. The question remains, will you truly live this wisdom, or will it simply become another idea floating in your mind, soon forgotten when the noise of the world becomes too loud? Today, we go beyond the lesson. Today, we go deeper. Today, we step into the true meaning of letting go, the root of attachment to opinions. Why do we care so much about what others think it is? Because deep down, we want to be loved, we want to be accepted, we want to belong. This is natural. From the moment we are born, we look for connection. A baby cries, and the mother holds it close. A child does well in school, and they are praised. A person succeeds, and society applauds, but slowly this desire turns into something else. It becomes a fear of rejection, a fear of not being good. Enough of fear that if others disapprove of us, we will lose something: respect, love, acceptance, belonging. The Buddha taught that fear is rooted in illusion. There is no real loss in being misunderstood. There is no real harm in being judged, but the mind does not see this truth easily. The mind clings, the mind resists, the mind wants to control what others think, even though that is impossible. So how do we free ourselves from this invisible prison? One, the illusion of self. There is nothing to protect. Think about the last time someone insulted you. Maybe they called you foolish, maybe they doubted your abilities, maybe they laughed at your choices. When that happened, how did you feel? Most likely there was a sharp reaction inside, a tightening, a feeling of defense, a desire to prove yourself. But why? Who is this self that feels attacked? Buddhism teaches the concept of a nodha, or a knot. Self, it means that the identity we cling to is not truly real. It is a collection of thoughts, memories, experiences, and beliefs, constantly changing. The person you were 5 years ago is not the same person you are today. The person you are today will not be the same in 5 years. So, if the self is always changing, what is there to protect if someone insults you? They are insulting an idea, an image, a concept, not the true you. And if there is no solid self to protect, then why feel hurt? Why feel the need to fight back? The only way to be free from the opinions of others is to realize that their words cannot touch your true nature. The sky does not care if someone calls it blue or gray. The ocean does not shrink when someone complains that it is too deep. In the same way, you do not become smaller because someone misunderstands you. To the nature of judge, no one is thinking about you as much as you think. A man once came to the Buddha frustrated by the way people judged him. Master, he said, I try to be good, but people still criticize me. I try to be wise, but they still doubt me. No matter what I do, someone always has an opinion. How do I stop this? The Buddha smiled and replied, my son, if a bird flies across the sky, does the sky feel trouble? The man was silent. The Buddha continued, people's opinions are like birds in the sky. They pass, they move, they change, but the sky remains. If you are like the sky, you will not be troubled by what flies across you. Think about this. How many times have you replayed a conversation in your head, worried about what someone thought of you? How many nights have you lost sleep over something someone said? And now ask yourself, how much time have they spent thinking about you? Most likely none. People are too busy with their own lives, their own worries, their own insecurities. They judge for a moment, then they move on. So why should you waste hours, days, or even years carrying their fleeting thoughts? You are holding on to shadows. Let them go. 3, the story of the 2 monks carrying burdens that do not belong to you. There is an old Zen story of 2 monks walking together. As they reached a river, they saw a woman struggling to cross. One monk hesitated, as their tradition forbade touching women, but the other monk without hesitation lifted her and carried her across. Hours later, as they continued walking, the first monk finally spoke. Brother, how could you carry that woman? You know it is against our teachings. The second monk smiled. I put her down at the river. He said, why are you still carrying her? This is the way of the mind. Someone says something about us, and instead of letting it go, we carry it, we replay it, we hold on to it as if it has weight, as if it is real. But it is not. The moment has passed. Only our attachment to it remains. When someone judges you, do not carry their words with you. Set them down. Walk forward. Be free. For finding peace and not knowing, you do not need to control everything. Much of our suffering comes from trying to control what others think. We try to say the right thing, wear the right clothes, behave in the right way, but what is right? It changes from person to person, culture to culture, moment to moment. Instead of trying to control the uncontrollable, surrender, let go, accept that you cannot predict every reaction. Accept that no matter what you do, someone will always have a different opinion, and that is okay. You were not born to fit into every mold. You were Born to be free, find your true path, walking alone with strength. The Buddha once said, "Be a light unto yourself." This means do not look outside for approval. Do not seek others to confirm your path. Walk your way with confidence. When you stop worrying about others, a great energy is released within you, the energy that was once used to analyze, to doubt, to overthink. It becomes the energy of creation, of movement, of true living. So ask yourself, what LD you do if no one's opinion mattered? How would you live if you were truly free? Who are you? When you are not trying to please anyone, find that person, be that person. Final words from a Zen master: you are not here to be understood by everyone. You are here to live fully, to experience deeply, to love, to learn, to grow. Some people will misunderstand you, let them. Some people will doubt you, let them. Some people will talk about you, let them. You do not need to fight, you do not need to prove, you only need to be. So breathe, stand tall, walk your path, and never ever look back. For so long, you have carried the weight of others' thoughts, adjusting yourself, seeking approval, fearing judgment. But has it ever truly brought you peace? Buddhism reminds us that freedom comes not from controlling how others see us, but from letting go of the need to be seen in any particular way. You are not defined by opinions, expectations, or labels. You are free if you choose to be. Rocket, there is more wisdom waiting for you. Visit Calm Heal to continue your journey of mindfulness and self-discovery. If this message speaks to you, like, comment, and subscribe to Calm Heal for more reflections on inner peace and detachment. Speech balloon: have you ever struggled with worrying about what others think? How did you break free? Share your thoughts in the comments below.